Riveting content. Empowering your life. Welcome to the Sphere. This episode is sponsored by Houston Housewives of Finance. For more information on increasing your cash flow, becoming your own money manager, and to schedule your complimentary personal finance strategy, contact the Houston Housewives of Finance today at 1-844-700-4463.
The Sphere Network. Looking to advertise? Join the Sphere's vast demographic reach of thousands of people all over the world. Send an email today at advertise@thesphere.tv or call us at area code 832-772-7789. Elite Dental Wellness. At Elite Dental Wellness, Dr. Ashandra Baptiste understands that one of the biggest obstacles is dental fear. The vision at Elite Dental Wellness is to ensure every patient is treated with respect, ultimate care, patience, and love. Call us today to make an appointment at area code 713-789-8680.
What's up, good people? Welcome back to another episode of Technocrats. I am your host, Gary Lee, also known as G. Hawkins. Of course, you can find me anywhere online, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, at G. Hawkins. That's G. Hawkins with the Z. And my man Jay is in the building. Jay, what's up, brother? How you feeling, man?
Oh, I feel great, man. It's been a good week so far. Looking forward to diving into some exciting topics for today.
It has been a good week.
And it's going to be a crazy night tonight for some fanboys, which we'll talk about.
Fanboys. Yeah.
But other than that, how you been doing?
We will have some conversations. You know what? I've been good, sir. I've been good. I can't complain. Enjoying this cool weather here in Houston.
Yes.
Enjoying the hoopla that we're about to talk about today in regards to Apple. For those who don't know, if you didn't read the Facebook Live, what's up, good people? We want to say hello to you all. But for those that are unaware, you know, we're going to talk all things Apple today. A lot of things came out earlier this week from Cupertino. So we want to have those conversations because we know a lot of people. I'm side-eyeing my boy Jay over here because he got 3 Apple devices over here. So a lot of people love their Apple devices. And we've got a new, fresh batch of replacement devices, reasons for you to spend thousands of dollars when it's all said and done. So I'm ready to hop in. Once again, want to say what's up to Facebook. Remember, we're only online for about 15 minutes or so for the show. And we're talking Apple TV 4K, we're talking Apple Watch, we're talking iOS 11, we're talking iPhone 8, and of course, we're talking iPhone. Some people want to call it 10. I'm going to call it X because I just think we should call it X. Right. But we're talking about all these things. So make sure you subscribe for the full show because, you know, we're probably not going to get to everything on the Facebook Live piece. So you want to tune in and you want to be subscribed for this. So, Jay, you ready to hop into this, my man?
Yes, dive in, bro.
Okay. Let's do it. Let's start having this conversation. First up to bat, Apple, September 12th, gave their keynote. One of the first things to come out of this keynote that we want to talk about right now, and of course they had it at the prolific, the brand new, never before used Steve Jobs Theater.
Yes.
The thing to come out of this first up to bat would be the Apple TV 4K. Jay, initially, how do you feel about this? Apple TV 4K, what's your thoughts, man?
I think it's great. I'm glad it came out at the time it did because it was rumored for some time, and then also we was told that it was going to be delayed. But seeing how it supports the 4K HDR, high dynamic range, and the TV sets that leverage 4K are selling so well, and you alluded to last week how they're so affordable now. Despite what Odell Doctor says.
Doctor, shout out, man.
Yeah, so definitely, I think the 4K is a great thing, and I think it's going to bring a lot more people in because it's at the exact same price point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's one of the beautiful things, and we're going to show some images of the actual unit itself because we want people to get an idea. We want to go over some of the tech specs of it for the Apple TV 4K. first and foremost, it goes on pre-order tomorrow. So for those that, depending on what time zone you're in, if you're a Houstonian, it goes on sale at midnight Pacific time, which is 2 a.m. our time. So if you want to get your hands on this, which a lot of people do, you might want to stay up tonight just to make sure you get your order in, because it could be one of those devices that get a bit difficult to get in the coming weeks.
Right.
You know, just to be honest, because like you mentioned, we've got all these 4K TVs, but everything so far, for the most part, has been up to 1080p.
Right.
Really, the only way you're going to get 4K content for some of these shows you want to watch is to use a computer that has, 4K connection via HDMI or whatever the case is to your TV, and then you're using a web browser, and hopefully, like a Netflix, you've got the 4K package, what they call Ultra HD, so UHD for those that see that naming convention. You want to be able to tune in via that computer. You want to be able to tune into your 4K also through, I think, Google Chromecast. They have a 4K option, so you can get their Chromecast Ultra. So now Apple's stepping up to the plate, and let's take another look at some of this. We're going to scroll through it. Now, obviously, same form factor, same size, right? So we've got this device coming in at $179.
Very reasonable.
$179, 4K, and put up the specs on that same link you were just at. There's a spec part, and I want to double check and make sure that I'm saying this right. I think the 179 version for that particular model is 32 gigs and a 64 gigs, so you can double your memory, and that's $199. So $20 more, and you're able to double the memory size.
Right. And Apple is so sneaky with that. I mean, they strategically genius to be able to make people, you want their phones to want to get the larger size of storage space, and it just makes sense.
It does.
Just go and pay $20 more.
Yeah, it does. And so what you're going to get in the box, go ahead and click on the models and pricing on the blue option at the top. And I want to show them what you get in this box. So for those that have never, and let's scroll down a little bit. For those that have never had an Apple TV, what comes in the box is obviously the Apple TV itself, 4K. You're going to get the Siri remote. Now, let me pause right here. So what's cool with the Siri remote is the fact, for those that are Apple users and you're accustomed to Siri, you just hold the button and talk in your remote.
Yes.
And you can tell it, hey, I want to watch a movie from the 80s, or hey, put on, the Rockets game right now. And it literally is going to look through the applications that are installed on Apple TV to bring you your content. So you don't have to search, swiping back and forth all through the menus. You can simply talk to Siri, and you're able to get, anything, any programming that's available, it will show you on your screen. Obviously, you get the power cord with this. And last but not least, and some people may not be accustomed to this, we're going to go back to what's in your box so we can show you this. But last but not least is the Lightning to USB cable. Now, the importance for this last device, this Lightning to USB cable, is the fact that your remote, you ain't got to change the batteries. All you have to do is plug up your remote to the back of the Apple TV, or plug it into anything that has a USB power associated to it, and it'll charge your Siri remote. So boom, you keep a fresh remote charge, and mine lasts. I don't have the 4K version, but the regular Apple TV, 4K, my remote lasts me easily a month, if not longer. It just depends on how often you use it.
Right, on a charge, yes.
So overall, minute upgrade, but at the same price point to take full advantage of these 4K TVs that people are out here spending money on. I'm with that, Jay. How you feel about it?
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, you be able to leverage your investment. You invest in 4K, and you want the content to be able to be seen on your display and rendered. And the gaming has pushed it. So Apple realized, hey, okay, now not only will we be capturing people to see their media and their video and look at their photos that's taken on a 4K camera iPhone, but now we can even give 4K app video games that they can play on the Apple TV on the 4K display.
Now you think about that, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not a gamer when it comes to my Apple TV, but for those that are not familiar with Apple TV, it has an app store. So people build games that you can play, so it becomes kind of like a console,
Yeah, right.
and it uses the remote. So
Right.
it's a lot of cool opportunities that you have for those that are in the Apple ecosystem, or at least want to try to get into it. Here's a great point of entry to get accustomed to Siri. You can get some other home control options through your Apple TV. So it's a lot of cool things you can do with it, all at a $179 price point.
Yeah, it's a must-have. I feel like it's a must-have. They really give you a great interface and make it so easy to get everything set up and to be able to access everything you want to get to.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So moving forward, and we're going to touch briefly on iOS 11 for those that are unfamiliar. But Apple is ready to bring iOS 11
Yes.
to all devices that it currently supports. So iOS 11 will be finally released on the 19th
Yes.
of this month. So definitely a great step for Apple moving forward. And one of the biggest things, obviously, we're going to get some great additions and all these small little nuanced things. A lot of people that don't get a lot of screen time, but when Apple has 200 plus new features in a thing, you never know what you're going to gravitate
Right.
to.
Exactly.
So I think it's good from a person who uses the phone, and we've said this on the show before. I think it's going to be great for somebody that uses an iPad.
Yeah, I think the biggest enhancement comes to the iPad. And as we talk to you all and let you all know what the great things we like and glean from this special event, like we told you several months ago, you have to get your money right. Because you're going to want to get these devices when they launch, and you're not going to want to wait to the second and third shipment and have to wait till after the holidays if you plan on getting it from someone.
Yeah.
But in order to do that, let's talk to our sponsor who can help you get your money right.
There
You
he
can have
is.
money saved to buy these
Hey.
devices. This portion of the show is sponsored by Houston Housewives of Finance. Did you know that only 4 states in the United States offer financial education? 33% or more than 77 million of Americans don't pay their bills on time. 39% of Americans carry credit card debt from month to month. And 39% of adults say they don't have enough savings. Don't become one of these statistics. Let Houston Housewives of Finance advise you on increasing your cash flow and becoming your own money manager by scheduling your complimentary personal financial strategy. Contact Houston Housewives of Finance today at 1-844-700-4463 or email us at info@houstonhousewivesoffinance.com. And that's at info@houstonhousewivesoffinance.com. Ask us how you can participate in a complimentary financial literacy workshops near you. Houston Housewives of Finance are the new faces of the new age of financial services.
There it is. Get your money right, folks.
Yes.
Through Houston Housewives of Finance. So, and real quick, we're going to scroll through some of the features for iOS 11 on the iPad in particular. First and foremost, which is going to be the first big one, is files. Wherever they are,
Yes.
they're here
Yes.
on your iPad, right?
Right.
So when it comes to your files, you're able to what people have been asking for years
Right.
is simply be able to access your files, whether they're on the desktop or wherever they're at, have some type of way to get to your file system and be able to interact with files that are local to your desktop. How important is that to you, Jay?
Oh, that's critical. And that's been a big complaint against Apple and iOS and restrictions for some time. But for them to finally remove the chains and allow people to be able to be free and to be able to download something to the device now.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. You know,
Necessary.
yeah, because they just really, like 2 years ago, gave you the ability to be able to bring things from the cloud to your iPad, and to be able to save the storage. But now to be able to open something up from the browser and save it to your iPad, that's huge. I'm glad. I mean, it's huge in our sense for us to be in the Apple ecosystem, but it's been something that's been lacking, but been in other devices with the Microsoft Surface and Android tablets for years.
There it is.
Yeah.
So next up to bat, that I think is stellar, is the fact that you now
Oh, yeah.
have a dock at the bottom of your iPad. And for those that we're going to show you a photo of it. So basically, down at the bottom, you get the ability to have all the apps that you normally would need docked right at the bottom of your tablet. And that's going to be a great look simply because this puts you in that, how do I say this? You're closer to that ecosystem that you've been accustomed to from OS 10 for so long.
Yes.
Am I right? And
Yeah.
do you use a Mac as your daily driver?
Yes, I do.
So from a user of Mac each and every day, transitioning from the dock currently to your iPad, how is that?
Well, the first thing I recognize when I use Mac Sierra, OS Sierra, and go into my iPad, I see the limitations right away with the iPad, with the iOS 10 that we have now. But with iOS 11, which is going to mimic and give you the same interface and graphic user interface as you have in Mac OS Sierra, I think that's going to be a great product to show people that it's easy to be able to learn capabilities, and you're not going to see the limitations of the iPad right away. So people can feel like this is a great cross-platform product that they can use when they want to move from their desktop, their iMac, or their MacBook Pro to come to a smaller form factor. So this shows bridge the gap better to me, because when I go from my MacBook now to iOS 10, iOS on the iPad, it's just, man, it's lackluster, in a sense. Yeah.
Can I let me be honest, right?
Yes.
So when I travel,
Yes.
I use my I always take my MacBook Pro, old MacBook Pro.
Yes.
And man, I hate it, bro.
Yes.
Because I have an iPad, but it doesn't make sense to take it.
Right.
Because sometimes I need to get stuff done.
Right.
You know, I need to function. And I've never felt like I can function, I can truly produce using an iPad. But giving me first and foremost the files, then adding the new dock at the bottom, right?
Yes.
Then, and we're going to go to the third big thing that's in this list, giving me the opportunity to multitask, right? And for those that are watching this right now, you kind of see how this works. You see that you get the imagery on one side. You're able to pull up an app on the other side, have it docked in or float. And then, of course, you're able to then do your two apps at one time and get that full use. And then if you scroll up a little bit, you get the opportunity to do some drag and drop as well. That's the next big feature. So all these features, when you start to add these things up, this goes, and I just want to be honest, like the Apple's iPad is, for me at least based on iOS 11, is moving from a consumption device to a production device.
Exactly. And what's so unique about this outstanding is really they're not giving you any new hardware capabilities or adding any new electronic components to the iPad. What they're doing is enabling things by software.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
That's software.
Yeah, that's it.
That's a software change.
Yes, that's it. It's just a software change.
Yeah.
And and it's remarkable that you really gave users and consumers a better investment in their product that they have now that we can be able to leverage. Because they still going to support at least the last 3 iPads, I'm sure, models they release. So those who've had theirs within the last 3 years or so will be able to benefit from this new upgrade, this update iOS 11.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's a lot of stuff in iOS 11.
It's just so much to talk about.
Yeah.
And this is, I think this is the best release they ever came out with, because it's just so many significant things that's going to change. And there's going to be some things I'm going to have to learn and get used to utilizing. You know what I'm saying? I don't hear day to day.
Yeah.
And that's what I like. It's more than a handful of things. Yeah.
I'm with it, man.
Yeah.
iOS 11 coming September 19th, as in 4 days from now or 5 days from now. So
Can't wait to get it.
right around the corner.
Yes.
And then this is the full release, not beta, but full release.
Yes.
So before we move on, Facebook, we love you. We adore you. For those that watch live right now, for those that tune in after the fact, we appreciate you, but we've got to let you go. We want to make sure that you subscribe to get the rest of this show. You can reach us over at thesphere.tv/Technocrats. We've got it available via iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and of course Stitcher for our techie folks. Now, while you're there, make sure you review us. Let us know how we're doing. Give us some constructive criticism. While you're reviewing, make sure you share it. Share it with your friends, your family, your colleagues, anyone that you think would benefit from getting true insight into technology for the day. And of course, last but not least, if you love what we're doing, sew back into us. Go to sphere.tv/donate. And we've got a couple of donation options for you if you'd like to do a single donation or donate via Patreon and basically make it a subscription service. So
Yes.
once again, Facebook, Folks, we love you. We adore you. We thank you so much for tuning in. And we're going to keep this party going because we got to talk about a lot of stuff, including a new watch and a couple of new
so
iPhones,
many things
man.
that got released.
Couple
at
of
this
new
event.
iPhones.
Yeah.
So, Facebook, we will see y'all. And we're going to keep this party going. So, I'm going to dive into your territory a little bit.
Okay.
Because I know that I remember
Yes.
when we had this conversation about Apple Watch Series 2.
Yes.
And you were excited. You're like, I'm going to get this. We even did a review, unboxing on the show and whatnot.
We did, yes.
So overall, how has your watch usage been?
The watch is something that's a must-have every day. It's like if I leave it, it became so essential to me, and it's as I'm leaving my phone if I forget it. I have to go back and get my iWatch. So the Apple Watch is a great thing to help me with my destination. You gotta look with the GPS, keep up my calories and my steps, see my text message, and also listen to your music, wireless to your Bluetooth or your earbuds, earpods. So, I mean, it's just something you just want to have on your wrist all the time. And so to hear this announcement about the Apple Watch 3, Series 3, you want to get into it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to it.
Yeah.
To hear the announcement about the 3 coming out with the Watch OS 4, which is going to be free for everyone next week. Also, I believe it's on the 19th to talk about the things they're going to give us, the features, to be able to get more different metrics by declining different inclines and steps. Also, too, they're going to add the feature to be able to log into the gym machines a lot easier for those who want to be able to get the metrics that you get from your workout, and to be able to have them logged and stored and saved on the cloud, and to be able to send to your trainer. This thing is really becoming an essential piece for anyone who cares about their health. And not only that, it gives you the features with the music. But did you hear about the music, bro?
I saw the little tagline about the fact that you could stream stuff from your watch, and I'm assuming you have access to the full Apple Music catalog. Is that what I'm
and the
understanding?
Beats Music and giving you the new cellular thing. Oh my goodness! To be able to talk, iMessage, use the GPS, geofencing features, without having to be tethered to any type of device, and still have the same number as your phone with the Apple Watch, makes it such easier. Because we had that question: how are they going to do the billing? They have these 2 different SIMs, everything in there, micro SIMs. But they know that they did it intuitively with the application. I thought that was genius, and they demoed at the event. Showing him calling for Cupertino and calling, I think, his daughter, who was out there on the raft, and in the wide open on the water. But the only thing she had was her Apple Watch microphone, and they was able to pick her up around all the ambient noise loud enough and clear, and to send that signal. It was just great. And so, and a lot of other features and enhancements, people have said who got the beta version for the watch, they know it can do some other things that Apple is not going to do right now in the first quarter release. So I'm telling you, Apple, this release so far has been at best.
Yeah.
And the watch, for it to be now the number 1 leading watch in the world, it was number 2 last year, and it grew this past quarter to be 50% in sales. And we talked about earlier this year, we were talking about how it wasn't doing that well in sales after the first one, but then the second one just leapfrogged it. So Apple is doing some great things, and I think what's helping them is that across the board, it's very easy to navigate and logical to learn it on their system, how to get around the interface, and also too their support. And I think that's what's really good too, how easily they support their devices, the longevity of the life cycle. So I think the Apple Watch Series 3 with the GPS and the cellular being added to it, plus the other features, and it's just so many things that they added to it. I mean, for styling, to you to have your own style and your flair, and you can change your style every day with a different wristband. I mean, it looks good. You can go from a dress to a casual to a sports watch, and all the same day just changing the band.
I agree. I'm with it. So the question I would pose for those that are watching right now, and even for you, Jay, is, are we seeing the precursor to the end of needing a smartphone?
Ooh, okay. I would say yes. And it's building them. I say within the next 3 years, you're not going to need a smartphone, and I'm going to tell you why. Apple has invested in so many universities and research and development departments there electrical computer engineering departments and different people who specialize in hardware engineering, and they tell you that with these new chipsets that they coming out, also with the new wireless card they added into the phone, to the watch. So they are not waiting on industry people like they used to do. Years ago, it used to be AMD, wait on Intel, wait on other people. Apple said, okay, we didn't build up such a huge network. We have in the research and development department and the manufacturing process that with this new Apple Center, Apple Campus, if someone wants something, they can take it to the senior lead architect, and we can make it in-house now. We ain't got to wait on Intel no more. We ain't got to wait on Samsung anymore. And this is going to change everything because no one else is really at this point. And the thing is, it's all in the same facility. It's not disjointed. It's not like, oh, I got to send this to so-and-so place or I got to ship this. No, it's all within the new Apple campus. So I'm expecting new innovative things to come out a lot sooner and faster, if you can believe it or not.
Well, we shall see. And let me be honest, man. I've always thought the Apple Watch was the superior smartwatch in comparison to the options that you find, from Android and whatnot. I would consider buying one if I can activate it and not have a need to buy the iPhone. Like if I could just have the Apple Watch and have a phone number associated, I could do iMessage, I could do some other stuff, and that plus an iPad, I would do without if I could do it without having to buy the phone.
Okay, you know what? I think you can. I don't know.
I'm actually reading on that right now. I was like, I wonder, can I do that?
Because the iPad has a SIM in it, the cellular device, and it also has a micro SIM inside the Apple Watch. So, and it can find things through the Wi-Fi over cellular, so the protocol, so it can do the same thing from the watch. So I would think that you can now finally be, when they say you don't have to be tethered to a phone anymore, iPhone, I think that is true. I think that is key, that you will be able to get just an Apple Watch without having to buy a prerequisite to get an iPhone.
We're going to see.
Yeah.
I'm going to find out.
Yeah.
I need to know because, like I said, I would definitely buy one.
I think as long as you have an iPad or the iPhone, the iWatch, you have the same functionality because the iPad has a cellular device into it as well. It's not, has a micro SIM card in it as well. It's not necessarily answering phone calls, but the calls are getting routed to it over the network to it as well, over the same cellular thing. It's just not letting you answer. But what actually it is now, giving you that. You can answer the iPhone. You can answer phone calls over the iPad. So I know from a technology standpoint, infrastructure and protocol standpoint, it can. It doesn't matter not if they have it enabled within the software yet. Yeah. That's all I can say. Yeah.
We're going to see.
Yeah.
We're going to see, Apple. Yes. Because I need to find this out. All right, so
I can see you one, bro. I can see you rocking that watch.
We're going to see. I love my Huawei watch, too.
Yeah,
but that Apple Watch is lovely. So let's pause for a quick commercial break. And this particular portion of our show is sponsored by us right here at The Sphere. So are you starting your business or looking for a place to advertise? Do you have a need to reach out to thousands of people across the world to build your brand or sell your product? If so, get your product placement and advertising needs handled right here at The Sphere. We offer a wide variety of content delivery platforms, including iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, YouTube, and Stitcher. Plus, we offer a vast demographic reach within the United States as well as modern countries across the globe. Our enriched content and inspiring dialogue, coupled with your strategic ad, will surely hit the mark every time. Call us today at 772-7789 or send us an email over to advertise@thesphere.tv. So, Apple Watch. I'm assuming you're going to get one.
Yeah, I'm going to get one eventually.
Are you going to order it tomorrow? Pre-orders opens tomorrow.
Okay, it's so many things out.
I'm just asking.
I know, yeah.
Because, surely if you're going to get one, how long are you willing to wait?
I would know on my trip after I leave the studio tonight.
Oh, starting at $399.
Yeah, I know I'm going to get the other device we're talking about.
Okay.
And so
for sure,
we're going to talk about it in a few minutes.
Yeah. Matter of fact, let's roll into the first of two iPhones that was released.
Okay.
First up to bat, iPhone 8. iPhone 8 is here, folks. And let me be honest, that I like to cut to the chase sometimes. This iPhone, man, look, it's got glass on the back, and we'll talk about the reason why it's glassed on the back this time. It's got the new cameras, still water resistant and all those things, and they've added wireless charging.
That's
finally.
The biggest thing.
And obviously this is with the Qi charging, so they stay with something that's already out, which is a great option. Still coming in your 4.7 and your 5.5 inch Retina HD displays now with True Tone, whatever True Tone is. And it looks good, but it looks like, just another iPhone.
Yes.
Now they've tightened it up a little bit. I don't know if I can really call this, they got a spec bump moving up to the A11 Bionic chip.
Yes.
I don't know if I can call this an 8 and versus a 7S, but for somebody who enjoys the classic style, who wants the new power, push, who wants wireless charging, for all intents, I think this is a decent release.
Right.
Decent release.
Right.
What do you think, Jay? iPhone 8.
Okay. I think it's good.
7S.
Okay. Yeah. I think it's good in the sense that it really I think in essence this was is to bring the wireless charging feature out so they can sell more peripherals all at the same time, and they can go ahead and fade out the peripheral supports for the 7 downward models.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I think too that they had to do the bump in the processor because Apple is ready for people to take advantage of the kit, the AR kit.
Indeed.
And so this processor is going to really give people what they want to do, and the chipset that's for it is going to let them be able to leverage it. And the other people who want to sell their apps, they're not going to be able to make the apps like they want to for people who have the iPhone 7 and downward.
Mm-hmm.
So now the sky's the limit what they want to do. And two, the trade-in program that Apple have and other things they signed off on to let people do. So I think people who want to get a new phone, stay in the same price range, will go in the 8.
Okay.
For me, I'm not satisfied with the 8.
Okay.
I think the 8 just is an S to me.
And you know what's funny? For years,
Yes.
a lot of people have been comfortable moving from a 7 to from a 6 to a 6S or a
Yeah.
5 to a 5S
Right.
or a 5C
Right.
over to a 5S.
Yeah.
We've seen
Yeah.
it, the 4 to
Right.
4S when they first started doing
doing
it with the 3G and the 3GS.
Right.
So I remember these moves. But hey, this is what it is. It's an interesting situation though, because as we talk, this is the first time ever in the history of iPhone. And for those that are unaware, iPhones have been out for 10 years.
Yes.
They started in 2007. I stood in line for the first one, the
Yep.
second one, the third one, and the fourth one.
Yes.
4 years straight, I stood in line for iPhones. And then I stopped at the 5. But I say all that to say this is the first year ever.
Wait a minute, you stopped at a 5?
I stopped at 5. Yeah.
I didn't get a 5 either.
Yeah.
What happened?
Oh, no,
I didn't
no,
get anything
no,
at 5. I didn't get anything.
No, I bought the 5.
I didn't get anything at 5.
That was my last phone.
I didn't get anything
iPhone.
at 5. I didn't get the 5. Right?
Yeah.
I didn't like anything else after that. The 4S I had it for a while. That's the only year I didn't get anything
Yeah.
in there. Yeah. But then at the 6 on, I got everything. The 6, 6, 6, 5 on. Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, I
Yeah.
stopped at the 5. I bought an Android phone.
Yeah.
Never went back
Yeah.
to an iPhone after that.
I played with the Microsoft phone we talked about for a while.
Yeah.
I had high expectations for it.
Yeah, I played with that as well.
And 8, and it just didn't meet.
And- Yeah, my
DO-
Nokia
DOA.
it
Yeah.
wasn't what it was.
Yes.
So, first year ever, Apple says, you know what? We're not going to just release one variant. We're also going to give you all what you've waited for, especially for this 10th year anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to give you the iPhone 10. So, the official iPhone 10 from Apple is a doozy.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? It looks just like what everybody said it would look like.
Yes.
Because of all the leaks.
I
But
know.
it is officially the iPhone 10. Now, somebody call it the iPhone X. I prefer iPhone X
I like
and
the
iPhone
X,
10.
Yes.
But it is all screen and it is beautiful.
It is nice. Yes.
Yeah,
It is.
thanks finally for them to say, you know what? And notice, one size 5.8.
Yes.
And the reason why they can do that and say that is because it's all screen, top to bottom. Now, you will notice it does have the little bar at the top, which includes all of its sensors and things like that, and which is necessary. We've seen some other Android devices that are all screen,
right.
all the way up to the top, but they still have to cram those sensors in. But also, guess what? This is an OLED screen. First ever.
Yeah. Wow, this is nice.
OLED, which
Right.
means the contrast ratios are bananas,
Oh, my
kid.
goodness, yeah.
Bananas.
Yeah, this is I remember when Sony came out with their OLED, and I think LG,
Mm-hmm.
and you see how it just really gave you a whole new experience to be able to see things rendered. But on the phone,
Yeah. OLED on the phone. This is going to be the most beautiful iPhone ever. And it makes sense. It makes sense to do that. Now, obviously, we haven't seen a device like this built from Apple, meaning that it's all screen.
Yes.
And something that we talked about last week about some of the things we expect. The fact that they did come out with all screen iPhone that does not have a home button also means there's not a place for Touch ID.
oh, I didn't like that. Though.
Now, you and I, we talked about
Yeah,
this, right? You could have threw Touch ID into the Apple logo on the back.
Yes, that was
my
a genius idea. You said
That was my thing.
Yeah.
Now, the flip side is the whole back is glass because of wireless charging.
Right.
So maybe there were some issues, putting wireless charging in,
Right.
as well as a fingerprint reader on the back when the whole
Right.
back is glass. How do you
Right.
get part metal,
Right.
part
Can you
glass?
retard the signal and wait? Okay.
So maybe that's why they couldn't
Yeah,
do it, because it's
right.
like, do we give them Touch ID, no wireless,
Okay.
or we all know the real master plan,
Yes.
which is to get rid of cables completely, which
Right.
means no more ports completely.
Right.
So the lightning port goes away.
Right.
So you can't. You've got to go wireless charging
Right.
in order to get rid of all the ports.
Right.
So we say that to say that now you got Face ID. So they give you a couple of images for Face ID on the new iPhone, and it basically it's gonna be taking a full rendered photo of your face while you stare at the device, and that's how you're gonna unlock your phone moving forward. We've had some other companies try to do this. Samsung has tried to do it with eye recognition and eye follow and all some other little stuff, but nobody's really done it well. And I think this is where Apple normally excels.
Yes.
They take technology like fingerprint scanning, right? We had that for years,
Yes.
decades. We
Yes.
talked about this. Apple gets a hold of it, boom. They re-release something that's old, and they make it cool, but it functions like it's supposed to.
Right.
So now all you do is look at your phone. It unlocks it. It works with Apple Pay.
Yes.
It basically is a full replacement for Touch ID. How you feel about that, Jay? And you're home. You've got both of those are Touch ID, right?
Yes.
Your iPad and your phone.
Yes.
So how do you feel about moving to just a face unlock?
I don't know for sure. I have a definite response to give people at their evaluation of utilizing it. First thing that came to my mind is how you better share the device with multiple people. But I'm assuming they're going to still let you have multiple profiles, like they allow you to have multiple fingerprints that can be registered. Because in some situations, you may want someone to be able to have access to your device as well. So I'm sure they're going to let you have multiple profiles. But other than that, I was kind of upset at first, and I did like the idea you mentioned about utilizing an Apple logo to be where another Touch ID sensor can be at for the fingerprint reader. But I do like everything about this iPhone 10, bro. And the iPhone X, I don't know. I know the Samsung came hard this year, but I don't know.
They did.
Yeah. I really, even though and everything got leaked and people knew ahead of time what they was going to do, but what Apple is going to stay on top is where everything works so well on Apple.
Yeah, it does.
Everybody else can give you features and do things, but the experience, you don't have to worry about the crashing. It's so smooth, it's stable, the stability, and it's elegant. No one else can deliver that to me. Everybody else can give you kind of features and customizations, but the way it looks on Apple and how stable it just works. That's what I think it's still keeping them above everyone else. And this iPhone X, man, the camera, and think about it, who would have thought that the face recognition, Face ID would be a main feature to be able to access and get into your phone device. Think about it. It replaced that, and like you talked about how everyone else it failed on. So it's just I see this. We talked about another show about the ID things for getting into the face recognition at the airports. I mean, how they're going to start doing it for the boarding.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I remember we talked about that. So this will ease people into that process because you now become accustomed to doing this to unlock your phone. So I mean, I can see that. And you're right. Apple excels when they bring features out and they make it so simple and user friendly, man.
Right. And one last thing I want to say real quick before we get into our sponsor is that Apple was really genius thinking about down the line.
Mm-hmm.
We know about the mandates, things that's happening in travel, things in immigration, and a requirement that comes soon in the U.S. will require passports for domestic travel within state to state pretty soon, everywhere. We know a lot of states already adopted that to be able to travel. You need to have a passport in some states in America. But one of the things they do accept and they do approve of different agencies is that of the face recognition scan. That got approved already. We know a lot of people found the vulnerabilities inside the fingerprint reader and bioauthentication. But Apple said, okay, we're going to go ahead and get a Face ID. Now we'll be able to have devices that we can be able to sell and do contracts with CIOs for the public sector and the government now. And they can buy a lot of devices now. And there won't be nothing to string to say, okay, remember how they always, every time a president come in, a new cabinet, administration come in, they always talking about how they can't really get this device because it's not secure. Apple said that's out the window now. We're giving you what you all have already voted and approved as a standard.
Very true.
And that's going to be standard on our devices. So this is going to let Apple give into even more places now to be able to offer security and give people that somewhat sense of a BYOD, bring your own device in the environment, and it can be accepted into the CIO as an acceptable use policy.
Yep.
And to touch on that, many things people use in the face, but one of the things in the face we notice is the eyes and the teeth.
Nice pivot, sir. I see you.
And this portion of the show is sponsored by Elite Dental Wellness.
Yes.
At Elite Dental Wellness, our vision is to create a welcoming practice that will offer exceptional dental care and a lifetime of dental wellness. We are committed to the finest possible oral care and the overall health and well-being of our patients. Elite Dental Wellness is built upon a foundation of integrity, expertise, and service. Through our commitment to modern dentistry, continuing education, and friendly atmosphere, we strive to make our patients feel that they are part of our family. Dentistry can be scary, daunting, and uncomfortable. Dr. Batiste and her team work tirelessly to ensure your comfort. Make your appointment today with Dr. Chandra Batiste at Elite Dental Wellness at 713-789-8680.
There it is. So my last question for you. We've talked iPhone 10. We talked Apple everything. With the iPhone 10 in particular.
Yes.
Two things. One, will we ever see another home button on another iPhone again? 2018, next iPhone that comes out. Will we ever see another home button?
I say within 2 years of device and a new product release cycle, you're not going to see another home button.
Okay.
I think that's
so
it.
You think that and so you do you expect a 8S or a 9 next year from Apple? You think they'll make another device?
I think it would probably be an incremental upgrade like with an S again. And then I don't know. It really won't be needed. I think this thing is so packed with hardware and this iOS being a whole new build, I think Apple got something up their sleeve where technically they're not going to charge you for the software, but technically it's not going to really be a reason to upgrade because I don't see anything really game-changing or anything on the horizon outside of AR and VR to make anybody, again, unless they put in a different type of processor or some type of component to leverage AR, VR, or something with autonomous vehicle 5G.
Mm-hmm. That
would be the only thing. Unless they bring in some 5G, that would be the only reason I can see a new handset need to be released. I think everything else would be suffice for people just to get it through the software upgrade. Only thing I can see a hardware reason why they have to come out with a new phone is to leverage 5G or some type of thing to help with the AR VR.
I got you.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll ever see a home button again.
Yeah.
At least in a phone.
Yeah.
The next step, I think, will be for them to minimize that black bar at the top. I don't know if you remember, like, for Android users, we used to have the Moto 360 when it first came out, which was the first round smartwatch for Android.
Okay.
People loved it and hated it. They hated it because at the bottom there was this little black piece.
Like a bezel or something?
Well, not a bezel per se, but it's where the sensors live.
Oh, okay.
So basically how the iPhone 10 is,
like the
is
board
a little small black piece at the bottom where your 6 o'clock would be. So it started at your 5, 6, and 7.
Okay.
Little small black piece that so you could, there was no, the screen had to work around it. But people hated it because of this little small black piece. There's nobody's hating on the iPhone with this black piece
Right,
at the
that's
top.
true, that's true.
Anybody saying a word about
That's
it,
true,
and that's
that's true.
cool.
Right.
But I think the next iteration of the iPhone will be to shrink that, and it'll eventually just get smaller and smaller, smaller to where it's all screen. And somehow
That would
those
be
sensors are
something.
either A, baked behind the screen, or B, it's so small at the top that you really can't notice it.
Okay. You know what? When you mention that, then what I think is the future of the smartphone, definitely they will eliminate the buttons altogether and the ports altogether. Now they have the wireless charging frequency protocols working.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe, too, like we talked about in earlier episodes, how artists can go back and look at on the AR side and the VR side, but also on why we think that we no longer need the cell phone at all, period.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be just a security device as a hub to bring something from the edge computing. Look at some of my articles on Empower Magazine on edge computing, and another article we talked about edge computing with AT&T. But I think what's going to happen, like we talked about before, the iPhone is going to get to the point to where it's just a hub to relay and distribute information to the glasses and the phone and the watch. And I think that's why they get into this small fact. It's going to get smaller and smaller. It's not going to need any ports. It's the 5G networks infrastructure probably going to come in to the sense where they sit on the edge to where all it needs to do is just pick up the information and it just distribute it to the AR, because Apple, we talked about the patent they filed.
Yeah.
These glasses probably going to get released or at the next Worldwide Developer Conference, or they're going to leak something out before that. I see their new eyewear, Apple eyewear, coming out within 2018. Yeah,
we'll
for
see.
sure.
We'll
For
see.
sure.
I'm excited for
Yes.
it. And do you expect the new iPad to look like iPhone X?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do. And I think what's going to end up happening, that they're going to find a way to do something creative with this, with see what's going on. They got to come out with something else to help set themselves apart. They finally getting software features that the consumer's been asking for the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
But this market is stale here. Everybody is in it, So I think Apple is going to some kind of creative way with their team find something to have their tablet, their slate, to set it apart from everyone else. And I think they would have to go to hardware there. It's not going to have to be software. I don't know what else they can do, but Apple going to have to give you some other type of functionality inside of their slate tablet, because the market is stale now. But people who are Apple want to stay with ecosystem Apple. People with Samsung, they may buy a Samsung handset, but they may not buy everything else Samsung.
No, it's rare they buy a Samsung tablet.
Yeah,
right?
right.
Apple has a tablet market sold
Right.
up. Like,
so you buy some Apple, you want to stay with the watch, you want the phone, and you want the tablet, and you want the desktop and everything else.
Yeah.
So they king on that. So that's why I'm thinking the weakest link is going to be the tablet market, I'm thinking.
We'll see.
Because
that new iPad Pro is awesome. So we shall see, man.
Right.
We shall see. This has been our all Apple show. This is what we did today. We've talked a lot about Apple. We've talked about all the devices from the 4K Apple TV to iOS 11. We talked about the watch, iPhone 8, and of course the illustrious iPhone 10, and some things to come, like Jay said. Might see Apple glasses next year.
Yes.
We might see death to all home buttons next year, including the iPad. There's a lot of things coming down the pipe, man.
Yes.
And I'm excited. I'm here for it.
Right.
We'll see what happens.
I'm going to predict Apple eyeglasses in 2018 spring, and also the Apple iCar, the Apple car.
He dropped some.
Yeah.
All right, Jay.
Yeah,
we'll talk offline. We will talk
Yeah.
offline.
Okay.
Please let the good people know if they agree with you
Yeah.
or not. Let them know where they can reach you
y'all
at,
hit me
man.
up. Give me your opinion. Hit me up. Continue to hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. Look me up on LinkedIn if you ever want to do any business, anything together, want some collaboration or consulting. Consider Empower Magazine to stay up to date on some of the things we give more insight on. And also hit me up an email, jdavis@astrotesla.com.
There it is. And of course, you can reach me anywhere and everywhere at G Hawkins. That's G Hawkins with the Z. This has been another great episode of Technocrats, where we provide the ins and outs of technology to empower the digital you. We will see you all next time. Take care.
Yes.